Okay guys, so here it is, the long-awaited first ever Fanatics Q&A video. Right, so let's do this. I've got some questions on my phone. I've got questions that you posted on my phone. I'm just gonna read through them and answer them in however much detail I feel like answering them in. Okay, so first question. What program have you started cutting and what program do you cut now? So I'm assuming you mean editing software, right? So yeah, unlike most people, I don't use like Final Cut or Premiere Pro, even though I should and I want to learn, but I use this really simple software called Wondershare Filmora, which is painfully simple and is quite infuriating actually, because it doesn't work super well, right? Because I edit sometimes quite complex videos that are very long and it starts crashing and my computer can't take it, it starts heating up. So it can be a bit annoying. I've stuck with this program from the very beginning, like 2 years ago, because I didn't really know how to edit. I didn't know how to edit videos at all. So what I did was, when I first did, because I guess you might not know this, but fun fact, the channel, there used to be like 4 or 5 people doing this channel. If you scroll down to the very bottom of the channel, you'll see videos with, you know, a few people or something, I think, I'm not sure. But then it became just me and I didn't know how to edit, so I had to kind of teach myself how to edit, and I was just looking up like simple editing softwares, you know, and that came up. So I've been using that, and that was quite helpful. It was simple, it was easy to do, so I've been using that ever since, and I guess it does get the job done, but it has pissed me off a lot across the years. Next up, do you plan on filming any classic/older film reviews or video essays in the near future? Absolutely. I don't know if I would necessarily do film reviews, because I kind of want to move from, you know, reviews to more video essay type stuff. I will still be doing reviews for, like, you know, like movies that come out every week and stuff like that, but I would definitely love to talk about a lot of old films. I've seen a lot of old films that I feel like I want to share my thoughts on them with you guys. I definitely want to talk about, you know, Kurosawa, Hitchcock, David Lean, Kubrick. There are a lot of old filmmakers who I really love, who have been really inspirational to me, and I would definitely love to make a video essay on one of those guys or one of their films in the near future. I do have 1 or 2 more video essays planned right now, so I would say, like, yeah, in quite far away in the future, like a couple months time or something like that. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. Next up, top 5 favorite films of all time. Inception, Whiplash, The Prestige, The Dark Knight, and American Psycho. I do feel like, however, that American Psycho at number 5, and I've got the original Lord of the Rings trilogy at number 6. So I feel like that can kind of swap around whenever I watch either one. And the same thing with Inception, Whiplash, it kind of swaps around. But yeah, I feel like in 5 or 6 years' time, Whiplash will probably be my favorite film. Next up, question 1, will you do more animated film reviews? I remember one of your content, the 50 movies you watch, no animated films. Is animation not a medium you're not particularly comfortable with? If so, why? No, I love animation. I grew up with animation as most of us did. I have no interest in making animated films just because I prefer live action. But I do watch a lot of animation. I do, you know, obviously there are more live action films out there than animation, but I do love animation. Obviously Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was one of my favorite films of last year. And in terms of kind of reviewing animation, doing video essays on animation, I would be quite interested to do one. Yeah, certainly. So to clarify, I have nothing against animation. I really like the platform. I really respect the platform. Obviously, I just did a whole video on why you have to watch Love, Death and Robots, which in my opinion is just one of the greatest shows out there right now, and that's all animated. So much respect for the people who do animation, but I have no interest in doing it myself, but I like watching it. Okay, so moving on to question 2. Also, would you say that the consensus of the majority influence your opinion of a movie watched, and or in spite of the fact that you have yet to watch it? That's the most glaring thing I've noticed from your content lately. I binged it, you're good at this, thank you very much. And saw a lot of harsh criticism on your Oscars reaction video. I would love to hear a more comprehensive take on it. Oh God, thank you very much for asking this question. I've got quite a bit to say. I mean, it would be somewhat foolish not to listen to people you trust, because, you know, there are a lot of YouTubers out there who I respect, who I have a very similar taste in movies to. For example, Chris Stuckman, Bailey from Breaking Banter. Like, these are people who I basically agree with on most of their opinions of their films. And of course, there are people on YouTube whose opinions, whose views and tastes in movies I don't agree with. For example, Grace Randolph. There are films that I like that she also likes, but she also, I think, didn't like La La Land. She didn't like Baby Driver. I don't think she liked Force Awakens very much. I don't think she liked The Revenant or Creed either. I can't really remember, but yeah. Yeah, we have quite different tastes. So I still watch and enjoy her videos, and her opinion is obviously, you know, valid, of course. But for me, I find that it's kind of foolish when 9 out of 10 people on YouTube make a video on why Bohemian Rhapsody is bad. And to not think myself, even though I haven't seen it, that Bohemian Rhapsody is a good film. You know, like, there are people on YouTube who have specifically made videos, people that I trust, people who I share a similar taste with, have made videos on why they didn't think the film worked. And so you could probably understand that, you know, I trust these people. There are a lot of people who made these videos, and when I complain that Bohemian Rhapsody got nominated over something like Widows or Hereditary or First Reformed or Suspiria or Buster Scruggs, you know, because these are films that everyone loves. These are films that pretty much everyone I've talked to either likes or loves. So it's not unreasonable to kind of listen to everyone and form your own opinion despite the fact that you haven't seen it, right? When Bohemian Rhapsody came out, for example, I'm just using it as an example, and everyone, you know, it made a ton of money, right? But then a lot of people on YouTube were like, this was kind of disappointing. I kind of knew exactly what it was, right? It was basically The Greatest Showman 2.0. It's a film that is enjoyable on the surface level with a really good lead performance and some nice song and dance sequences and stuff, but it's shallow and it's not an accurate representation of that person. And so, you know, having experienced something like The Greatest Showman, these crowd pleaser films that aren't actually that complex, you can kind of form your own opinion of it without having seen the movie. On the other hand, though, it would be kind of hypocritical and unfair to the movie if you judge it before you see it. So it is really a double-edged sword. I definitely feel like if you know the movie well and you're kind of familiar with it despite not having seen it, then that's fine. But at the same time, I feel like it would be nice if you could see the movie and kind of judge it for yourself. It's just the problem is I'm at school. These movies sometimes have weird release dates because I live in England and Thailand, so a lot of these awardsy movies, they don't come out until like Jan and Feb, so it's hard for me to watch everything at once. But anyway, I hope that answers your question. Next question, do you ever feel like a plastic bag? No, but I do occasionally drift through the wind. How old are you, and do you plan to pursue film production after school? I'm 17, verging on 18, and absolutely I plan to pursue film production after school. Because I'm at my last year in what you would call high school, so after that I'm taking a gap year where I would write and hopefully direct a couple of shorts. I'm working on shorts now. I'm here in a different location because I'm in my hometown in Phuket, Thailand, filming a short film. So after I leave school, I'm taking a gap year, so I would want to make short films and maybe even a feature. I'm most likely going to be going to film school. I've already had like offers from places, all of which are really nice, so I might go there, or yeah, most likely I'll probably go to film school as well. Next question, best historical film. I would assume you mean like something that's actually accurate and a relatively decent representation of what actually happened. So stuff like Inglourious Basterds, Social Network, Wolf of Wall Street, those don't count. So I'd probably say something like Lawrence of Arabia. That's a masterpiece, and it's pretty much a perfect film in my opinion. It's one of the most fast-paced and exciting 3.5-hour films out there. Also, if you got given a few million, what would be your dream script / idea to write and direct? Very interesting question. I've got 3 ideas right now, 3 ideas for the features that I would love to make, obviously, but none of them are too ambitious. You know, like there's maybe a car chase here, or maybe like a heist scene there, or maybe a shootout or a fight scene, but there's nothing too mind-blowingly big. So if I had a lot of money, like, I mean, in terms of like franchise stuff, I would love to do a Batman film. I'm very, you know, because Batman's my favorite superhero, he's one of my favorite fictional characters, period. And I just feel like we haven't had an comic-accurate representation of him on screen, you know, because Nolan's like The Dark Knight is the best movie that happens to have Batman in it, and Mask of the Phantasm, in my opinion, is the best Batman movie. And I just want to do something in live action that is an accurate representation of the character. Of course, I'm very excited for Matt Reeves' version. I'm just not sure how comic accurate it will be. I would love to do like an Under the Red Hood story, you know, and do like an in the style and the tone of the Arkham games. That would be awesome. I would love to jump on and do like a one standalone Star Wars film with lightsaber fights. It has lightsaber fights. Maybe like a Darth Revan story, because he's such an interesting character. I used to want to do Bond, but then after a while I realized that Skyfall is the Bond movie that I would make, so not Bond. In terms of original ideas though, I mean, it would be my dream to do like a Lord of the Rings trilogy, you know, like a trilogy of films that is so damn epic and will build up a fan base and unite fans, you know. So maybe like a sci-fi epic or a space epic, or like a fantasy epic like Lord of the Rings, you know. That would be so cool. And you know, to have these gigantic battle scenes and stuff like that, it would probably, like, I'd probably die at the end of it, just because, you know, it's a lot of work, you know. And that's why I have so much respect for Peter Jackson, despite the fact that his films later on aren't that good. But I have a lot of respect for the guy, because, you know, it is a genuine labor of love to make those epic films. So maybe I want to do one of those. Any other questions? Would you consider commercializing this channel in the future? Well, from what I know, you need to have 1,000 subscribers before you can make money. But for me, it's always been about making videos about films, because I love films, I love talking about films, I love making films. And the money, I would assume that if I ever got to 1,000 subscribers, the money will always be a secondary thing. You know, it's more important for me to make content that I'm happy with, that I'm proud of, that isn't like clickbait or lazy. And yeah, so I mean, I guess, yeah, of course everyone loves money, right? But for me, it will always be more about the content and the quality of that. 2 more questions. What do you think is the thing that's the most appealing aspect of the Western genre, which you seem to love? Yes, I do love the Western genre. A lot of different things. I've covered this briefly in my Red Dead video. But I think it's just the idea that we can't really experience it anymore. You know, the Western genre, in my opinion, is the complete opposite of the sci-fi genre, and these are kind of my 2 favorites in a way, because the sci-fi genre looks forward, right, into the future, and it looks to events that we cannot yet experience, and there is a complexity to the genre. Whereas with the Western, it looks at things that we can no longer experience in a way. So there's a lot of nostalgia built into that. And it's very simple, you know. The Western genre, part of why I love it is because it's very simple and elegant in its simplicity. The only really complex Western film that I can think of is Once Upon a Time in the West. And even that is absolutely amazing, right? It has the great standoffs, it has the great moments where the score just comes in and it sends chills down your spine. And it's that idea of the simplicity, that's what I love about the Western genre. Like the main thing anyway. Finally, how did you get to that first 100 subs? How do you get a basis following for the channel? Well, good question to end on, I would say. It took me like so long to get to 100 subs, and I remember I was quite jealous actually, because I would see all these people who would make videos similar to mine, and they had started like a year later than I did, and they'd be like on 1,000 subs or 2,000 subs, and there'd just be me like on 80 subs. And I did feel kind of like down a little bit, just because I feel like I was putting in the work, but no one was watching my videos. But really, I mean, trailer reactions are good. Like, trailer reactions, despite the fact that they're so easy to do and they require no effort whatsoever, they get views, like a lot of views for some reason. Trailer mashups get a lot of views. My video essays have been doing quite well. And none of those things I did in the first year and a half. It was just reviews. And frankly, there are already lots of reviewers on YouTube. So for me, I think what has helped me grow as a channel is to kind of differentiate, to do things differently, to do different things. And I think in terms of kind of building up that first 100 followers, like a lot of it was just family and friends. A lot of it was just people who kind of stumbled upon my videos and enjoyed one. And I remember there was this one time where I was like, this 1 week where I was on about 97, and then the next day I would wake up and it would be like on 98, and then the next day I would wake up and it would go back to 96, and they would just keep going up and down. I was like, just get to 100. And I remember I was in Japan, and I woke up and I was on like 97, and I woke up the next day and it was on 100, and I was just celebrated, like I was so happy. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. So anyway guys, thank you very much for watching this Q&A. I hope it wasn't too dull or boring or tedious. Hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more videos to come. Thank you.